Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Hey Chicago Sports. It is October 19th, Sunday, October 19th at 6:54 p.m. after a Bear victory. And the Bears are now 4-2. They go into next week and play the Baltimore Ravens. As we kind of discussed ahead of time here, last year at this time the Bears were 4-2, and all hell broke loose. I'm going to try to be less critical on Mr. Generational Quarterback, but I will have some negative things to say, and I got some comparison contracts because those that have been following us, you know that
some of those, well, even better, some of those who've known us much longer, long before this platform, this show has ever even been a factor. We know, and many of our friends and colleagues and cohorts know that, drumroll please, we are fans of none other than number 10, Mitchell Trubisky, who's no longer a Chicago Bear player, no longer a Chicago Bear quarterback. Very controversial figure in Chicago Bear lore. And a lot of people claim he was a bust when in fact, and you have some...
And I got some data here, and I hope that...
Well, why don't you just get into it now?
Well, I hope people who know, funnel this out, are going to pay attention to this stuff. We took the liberties and doing some statistics, and again, I always said statistics are for losers, but you got to have a comparison contracting because when people do good, they use the statistics. So we compared Mitchell Trubisky's first 23 games in the NFL that he played and compared them to Mr. Generational Quarterback. And after we present this information to you, you're going to find out there's not a whole hell of a lot of difference. All right? We'll go to the obvious at this point in time. And at this point, after 23 games, first of all, after 23 games, and we'll get into records, Mitch Trubisky was 12. Let me get my... Okay. He was 12-11 as a starting quarterback. One game better than 500. Mitch is 12-11 as a starting quarterback. Okay. Caleb Williams is 9-14.
Okay.
And I'm going to go deeper because people will say, well, Mitch maybe had a better team. Wait till you throw some names. Wait till you hear the names that I'm going to go in a minute. Okay. But statistics-wise, after 23 games, Mitch Trubisky had 4,664 yards passing. Caleb Williams, 4,892. There is only a difference of 200 yards between the two of them. That's basically one game. After 23 games, Mitch had 28 touchdowns. Caleb Williams got 29, a difference of 1. And Mitch has 19 touchdowns, interceptions to Caleb's 9. Now, you might say, what's the big deal? Well, you know what? Caleb Williams was the number 1 overall pick. Okay? And he played... And everybody says, well, he's got so many offensive coordinators. But in college, he played for Lincoln Riley, who is a quarterback whisperer.
Supposedly.
Okay? If you watch the Bear game today, Spencer Rattler at one time was also coached in college by Lincoln Riley.
At Oklahoma.
And Spencer Rattler's offensive statistics today against the Bears were head and shoulders greater than what Mr. Generational did today. He only threw for 172 yards.
No touchdowns.
No touchdowns. One pick.
Well,
Now,
And then 2 passes batted at the.
yeah, at the line of scrimmage. Now, people will say, well, you know, they didn't need to throw the ball. You know what? They've never needed to throw the ball. Everybody thinks that they got to throw the ball. The Bears have always ran. Okay? Now you're going to sit there and go, wide receivers. Mitch had wide receivers. I'm going to take the glasses off to read these. Because this is going to be like the ever popular, you know, how many starting quarterbacks have the Bears had in all these years. I'm going to throw you some names. Okay? Again, this is in the first 23 games. Because right now, Mr. Generational Quarterback is throwing to Roma Doomsday, who was a, 7th overall pick?
I think it was 12th
Okay.
or 11th.
DJ Moore. He threw,
To Luther Burden.
but he threw to Keenan Allen, who people are saying very well could be a Hall of Famer. Luther Burden, Cole Kmet,
Colston Love.
Colston Lovelace, who was
number
another 10 overall
10
pick.
overall pick.
He also threw, did he not also throw, just for a brief period last year, to a guy that got traded for a 2nd round pick? Was Chase Claypool last year?
No.
Okay. All right. So those names are pretty good. Here's who Mitch threw to. Okay? In 2017, when he got drafted, and I'm saying these are the wide receivers and or tight ends that Mitch Trubisky threw to.
I have to double check on Claypool though.
Okay.
Go double check him.
Did you ever hear of Kendall Wright?
Yes.
Okay. Josh Bellamy.
Yeah, I remember him.
But these are not.
No.
Okay.
No.
Dontrell Inman.
I've never heard of him.
Zach Miller. That might be.
Yeah, that was a tight end that had his leg almost amputated.
Yep. Okay. Deion Sims.
Nope. I don't remember him.
Trey McBride, not to be confused with the Trey McBride, Trey McBride, who's a stud with the Arizona Cardinals. This is Trey McBride, Trea McBride.
I'm right here. You don't need to
Okay.
yell.
Here's an oldie,
Thank you.
but a goodie.
Inside voice, please. I'm right here.
Adam Shaheen. We laugh at that because Adam Shaheen was a Division III tight end.
Oh my god. Yeah, and they drafted him like what, 2nd round?
Yes. Marcus Wheaton.
I vaguely remember him.
And the might be one of the biggest draft busts of all time,
If you say Kevin White,
Kevin White. Those were Mitch Trubisky's wide receiver tight end in 2017.
We were at a Cub playoff game, and they showed Kevin White on the video board, and everybody booed him.
Okay. Now, if anybody who's watching this is going to say that the names that I just mentioned are better than the current wide receiving group,
You're on crack.
you need help.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the 2nd year of Mitch's tenure, it got better by one name. They picked up Allen Robinson.
And that was kind of it
Okay.
for a while. There.
Okay. Because the same guys are he's still throwing to the same guys. There's somebody, okay. Taylor Gabriel.
I remember him. I do remember him.
Okay. I'm leaving the next one till the very end because you're going to laugh at that one.
I think I might, knowing where this is going.
Okay. Anthony Miller.
He
was drafted.
Well,
high.
he had a good first season. He had a good. He had a good first year and a half, and then everything just kind of fizzled away.
Javon Wims.
Oh, he sucked.
And then I'm going to throw one more at you. This was the tight end, Trey Burton.
Blue balls. Blue balls, because he always had a groin injury.
But and then the guy, some of those guys came from 17 to 18. But once again, that is the plethora.
Was Jimmy Graham on that list?
No. Not in his first 2 years. I'm only comparing the first 23 games.
Okay.
Now, later on, Graham came because Mitch was with the team for 4 years.
Yeah.
But everybody's saying that this generational quarterback,
Who was a number one overall?
number one overall,
He was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Heisman Trophy winner, played in college for a quarterback whisperer,
At 2 big-time Division I powers.
came to a better situation with the Bears
Yeah.
than what Mitch did.
And Justin, and what Justin came into as well.
Yes, and when you break it all down, Mitch is 1 game better in the win. He's got a better record than the current quarterback. So when people are saying we got to get rid of Mitch to get, and in this, before him was Fields, which was a mistake,
Yep.
and Fields got benched today
For Tyrod Taylor.
to Tyrod Taylor. And Tyrod Taylor, last year had a punctured lung because somebody they tried to do something medically.
That's like a Final Destination. That's like something that would happen in a Final Destination movie.
But if you're going to sit there and say, and everybody goes, well, Mitch had better. There's not even close.
No.
Do you want? I'm not going to repeat the names, but there's somebody, Adam Shaheen. Okay. I'm going back here. Deion Sims.
I've never heard of him a day in my life. And he threw 6 touchdown passes with that receiving corps in a game.
Yeah, his second year.
He won a division with that.
Was that his second year or first year?
Second year was because he didn't start
Right.
first year, because the first year was with John Fox.
Right.
Fox got fired, and then Nagy came in. We were at that Blackhawks game when he got announced.
Yes. And the 6, Allen Robinson and Taylor Gabriel and Trey Burton and Anthony Miller and Javon Wims and the jokers I mentioned, Mitch ended up throwing 6 touchdown passes in a
my
game
God.
with those people.
And
Not DJ Moore,
no,
not Keenan Allen,
no.
not a guy that was the 7th overall pick or the 10th overall pick.
And not a guy from Missouri who thinks he should have been in a top 5 pick.
These are guys off a scrap heap.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying, and you know what?
Yeah.
But my theory was, if you're going to run the ball, the Bears ran the ball well today. Well, they almost had 2 guys with over 100 yards. Swift had 120 something, and Menange had like 88.
His first career touchdown too.
Yes. So they ran the ball for.
Speaking of running the ball, there Kyle Juszczyk is on the TV screen, but
Yes, fullback. But they ran the ball. So once again, I have always said this nonsense. Because now if you're going to get the generational quarterback to throw the ball all over the lot, why are you only 172 yards?
here's my thing. Why are you throwing passes that are so short and simple and dumb to the point that they're going to be able to be batted down at the defensive line of scrimmage?
You know who had more points today than anybody?
No.
The kicker. The backup kicker. Moody. He had 4 field goals. He had 12 of the 26 points.
Good for him. Good for him.
Okay.
And the 49ers cut him.
Yes. The current quarterback, none. Okay. And then
Well, he got him downfield.
right. Yes.
got him downfield.
Yes. Yes. And then, but the one thing that I'm going to keep preaching, because he preached it, is that ever popular 4,000-yard
Well,
nonsense.
they won the game.
They did, but
They won the game.
But just as a point of reference now, okay, this is sort of like the Caleb Williams, like the Shawnometer, when
Yeah, I was watching Marquee Network. They had the Cub
Yeah.
The Cup cornerstone. They were talking about Sean.
Deshaun Dunston getting close to 300 short. Okay. I did some quick figuring here, and it's less now. Caleb Williams has to average now.
How much does he?
I figured it out. Caleb Williams has to average. Before it was like 230 something. He has to average now 247. Oh wait, it's on this page, I think. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. Currently, he has 1,351 yards passing. Okay, in 6 games. That's only two. He's only averaging 225. That's less than what he needs to be to get to the 4,000.
So at this current point,
At this current pace, he needs to average 246 yards.
Okay.
Here on out for the rest of the way, in order to get that magic 4,000.
Okay. Well, here's the other thing. Instead of that, at this current rate, what is he on mark for? What is he on pace for to get?
If he's on pace, I can do some quick math. I didn't do that. 225 times 17.
Because
would
if
be
he doesn't
35.
get 4,000, what would he be?
I'm going to figure ballpark it 14, 17. That's 14, 15. That would be 5.
Keep in mind here, Eric.
2.
And by the way,
2.
keep in mind here, Eric Kramer from 1995 holds a single season touchdown and passing yard record of 3,000. It's not even 4,000. It's close to it. But then it's like 28 touchdowns.
But he only played in 16 games.
Yeah, he did.
He never played a 17-game schedule.
True.
At this rate, what he's averaging, the generational quarterback would end up with 3,825. He would be short 175. He also needs 21 touchdown passes to get to 30.
You know, this wouldn't even be a point of reference if they didn't bench Jay Cutler in the final game of the year in 2014.
So, and the Bears did win. But again, when they're saying, when the Bears and the talking heads and people who have larger podcasts than us sit there and go that this is the plug and play to get the Bears to playoff games, we have now just proven to you that they had a guy with the same comp numbers.
Well, it's also, and the other aspect of it is, again, I really want to say what I want to say, but I'm going to get booted off this platform faster than you can say anything. But yet, in reality, it was, and the reason why we keep bringing up Mitch Trubisky so much to people is because you were winning football games, and then you threw him away, and now you're 5 years removed of no playoffs. You haven't won a playoff game in 15 years. Mitch got you there. Mitch got you in the red zone for Cody Parkey to mess it up.
If Cody Parkey don't double doink, the Bears very well. You could predict and say maybe they would have went to the Super Bowl that year with Mitch Trubisky as a quarterback.
Mitch dropped the greatest, most amazing pass of his entire career right into Javon Wims' hands for Javon Wims in the end zone in a wild card playoff game against the Saints in the Superdome. For Javon Wims to drop the ball. That's not a Mitch. You know, Mitch Trubisky outplayed and outperformed in the same system, no less, the same team, no less. He outplayed and outperformed a Super Bowl winning MVP championship winning quarterback in Nick Foles in the same team. And no one wants to say that. This
isn't anti
no
last two generational quarterbacks.
Well, for Fields, yeah.
Okay, because
For
our
me,
thing
anyway.
would be if they're running the ball. The group of offensive linemen that the Bears had passed up or had the opportunity to get in the last 7 years to formulate that offensive line would have been second to none.
And they failed on that too.
And they failed in that
They
miserably.
failed on that too, to the point that they almost got Caleb Williams almost got killed last year.
And you still could you would have had guys, Quentin Nelson, McClinchy, Joe Alt.
Yeah, you love Joe Alt.
I love Joe Alt, but I think he's hurt.
Well, there's another guy from Notre Dame that they can get too, apparently.
Oh, they got a stud at Notre Dame. This guy that was mauling people last night in the Southern Cal game.
And why the hell are the Atlanta Falcons and the 49ers on a primetime, Sunday night primetime?
That's the Sunday night game tonight. I don't know.
It's like these are the two most fraud teams ever. Why are they here?
Okay, well, I don't know. Big markets, West Coast and Atlanta's a big market. But once again, we're just trying to not prove, but we're trying to at least put the nugget in people's heads to say that the inefficiency of Mitch Trubisky over the 4 years that he was with the Bears, that they had to run out and get somebody from, totally different.
He was horrible. Justin Fields was horrible.
And you get Justin Fields. And Justin Fields today, and we said before, he got benched.
For Tyrod Taylor.
To Tyrod Taylor. The Jets are 0-7. Okay? And for the people who are walking around, and even the Chicago media who was saying, I think maybe he's going to go somewhere and resurrect his career. He went to Pittsburgh, and Mike Tomlin couldn't even help him. And they said, see you later, and he's with the Jets. And the Jets, I think they got moving vans right in front of his house. They're going to help pack his shit up and get him the hell out of...
And the fact of the matter of it is, is that it's not a quarterback problem. Everyone wants to look at the quarterback and say, oh, this is the end-all be-all. No. You need a team.
You need an entire team.
You need an entire team, top to bottom, which is something the Bears have not had consistently in a very long time now. And the fact that very few people have dared to say it, if you criticized Matt Nagy in 2018, you were an idiot. We did.
Mm-hmm.
If you criticized, Mark Trestman when they first got him, oh, you were an idiot. Okay. When you were to criticize, the Ben Johnson character, even though it's only been like 5 games or whatever, I mean, I asked you the question: should there had been a quarterback controversy in training camp? And you said, yeah,
yes,
probably should have been.
Yes. Could Tyson Bagent put up 225 yards a game? And the answer is yes. Okay, like you said. It's not a quarterback question. Go through your list, and everybody thinks that you got to have a great quarterback, and only great quarterbacks win Super Bowls. We're going to have an episode about who went in Super Bowls and blah, blah, blah.
That'll be the next episode.
Dan Marino's never won a Super Bowl. Okay?
Jim Kelly played in 4 straight.
4. I'm trying to think of much greater people. I don't think Dan Fouts ever went to a Super Bowl.
He never... True.
Okay? He never went to a Super Bowl.
Did he?
And he's going to be much greater than the current Bears quarterback right now.
Brian Sipe won MVP. He never went to a Super Bowl.
But I'm just trying to think of obvious individuals who never went to a Super Bowl because everybody goes plug and play. That's all the Bears needed was a quarterback. No.
And
if you watched him today, he ran for his life on a few passes. But again, they're 4-2. Now we talk about...
Yeah, but here's my thing. When you're winning ugly, and that's what they're doing, and in football that is rewarded. And in every other sport, it is rewarded. Baseball, not so much. But when you're winning ugly, and that's your entire gimmick, and, and again, I don't want to be, putting Ben Johnson on a trebuchet, launching him into Lake Michigan right now, but... If Ben Johnson, his entire gimmick is that, he was this great whiz kid up there in Detroit. He was the one heavily involved with the great 29 points per game offense that they had up in there. And he wants structure, and he's about discipline. He's all about, status quo.
They had 11 penalties today.
Yeah.
The Bears had 11 penalties.
Well, some of them I didn't think were legitimate, but still, when you have 11 penalties, you're not a disciplined team. They're not disciplined. Stop it.
And their remaining schedule, and again, I'm still leaning on,
Like, how often can you go by just winging it completely?
because I'm looking at the remainder here. Okay, the Bears now are 4-2. Okay. Now, Baltimore needs a win, and the great Lamar Jackson's coming back next week. It's in Baltimore.
I'm not too concerned about that.
Okay.
I'm more afraid of Derrick Henry than I am anything else.
But I'm looking at
because Roquan Smith is on that defense.
All right, I want you to say locks, automatic lock.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's not a lock.
Okay, that's not a lock. Okay, Cincinnati.
That could be.
Okay, are you yes or no?
Well, I mean, it depends who's playing quarterback.
Okay, the Giants.
You think they might lose that?
That's not a lock. Okay, then we go Minnesota.
That's not a lock.
Okay.
It can't be based off of week 1.
Okay, Pittsburgh.
Not a lock.
Philly.
Not a lock.
Green Bay.
Not a guarantee.
Cleveland.
That's a guarantee.
All right. Back to Green Bay.
Not a guarantee.
San Francisco.
They'll beat San Francisco.
Okay. And Detroit.
Detroit kicked their ass last time badly.
Yes. So the remaining of their schedule, according to these two meatheads, 2 locks remaining.
I'm not impressed by the 49ers.
Okay.
Stop it. They peaked.
Okay. 2.
Stop it.
So if that were the case, that would mean the Bears, those 2 locks plus the 4 wins they got right now, that's 6. Where's the 10 and 11 that people were saying? And the playoffs. Oh, because you know what? The generational quarterback is a year older. He's got the sizzle, the more sizzle than steak head coach. Where is, I still sit there and go, out of that, 3 wins.
Because if there was this house of dysfunction by Taylor Dunn and then no one... See, here's my thing with that. Taylor Dunn, you had an entire, 12-page? It was pages long.
Yeah.
I read it. And you had this entire multi-page article and you couldn't get anyone to sign their names to it? Dude, come on. It's like, why pride yourself on something if you can't even get anyone to put their names to it? Lame. But, however, devil's advocate, if that was going on, if this was true, and Caleb Williams had already felt that, he's going to be crowned the QB1 of the future no matter what. Hell freeze over, come hell or high water, whatever. Fine. If that's how we felt, and again, Ben Johnson, who prides himself on being a stern disciplinarian, and the fact that there was never a quarterback controversy,
Never was.
in a training camp, and if you even brought that up under Justin Fields, because you called in and said, Tyson Bagent could possibly play.
Yep.
I mean, why pay Tyson Bagent all this money to sit on the bench if he's not going to do anything?
And you mentioned it. The sad thing is, people, they were trying to get Mike Glennon. They were trying to get during the Mitch regime, okay?
Yeah.
And Foles, okay? And then they tried to get people in the Fields regime to a point, But what bothers me is, and you keep asking the question all the time, do you really believe that there was no other pick in the world that was, and I said no, he was going to be the pick, and he's going to sit there, and he's going to play 4 years, and you know what? Now again, the Bears are 4-2. Okay, but, and I'm not going to start opening champagne bottles because last year they were also 4-2.
At the same time.
If they go to 5-2, then all the people out there could comment and say, hey, asshole, the Bears are now 5-2.
Oh my God, it's Eddie Pinheiro. Eddie
Pinheiro's kicking for...
Good for him.
And everybody can say, meathead, the Bears are now 5-2, lay off.
No, and I want to be wrong. Here's my thing. I want to be wrong, but I've seen this song and dance too many times now, and it's over the same stupid, idiotic decisions year in, year out. Year in, year out.
It took, and now the defense they had 4 turnovers. And for a while the game was in doubt. See, again, let's think. 4 turnovers and you run the ball. Oh, have we ever heard that formula in Chicago Bear history before?
Yes.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yes. Yes.
Multiple.
So,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No. No.
To be fair, that's a clean-cut way in how you win a game. Okay.
That's how Super Bowl winners win.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that.
Not getting the first pick and saying he's going to solve the world's problems.
Well, my problem of it is you start off your opening drive horribly. They open up the opening drive and they just like
yeah, how do you go all week long?
yeah.
And then this is what you now last couple games they scored but today against the Saints. Here's the deal: they played the Saints.
A 1-5.
A 1-5.
Now 1-6.
See, these people that they're gonna play, they're not 1-5.
No, they're playoff contending teams.
We're laughing at the Jets because the Jets are 0-7. I think the Saints are the second worst team in all of football.
So it's safe to say if you're a Jets fan, you can just go watch the Rangers now.
Yes.
Watch the Rangers or the Islanders, depending on what your fandom is. Or the Knicks.
Baltimore and Cincinnati. Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh. Joe Flacco came off the rocking chair. Yeah.
Before he's gonna go home and watch Bluey, watch Disney Channel with his kids.
And everybody's going with defense. You're not gonna outscore Detroit. You're not gonna outscore Green Bay. You're not gonna outscore Philadelphia.
No. Well, you might outscore Green Bay. I mean, they didn't look too good against Arizona.
But they find ways to win. Okay. And those teams aren't just going to lay down.
And you always reference the Dallas victory, the victory over Dallas, and how, in retrospect, it doesn't look all that great. And
Dallas beat the piss out of Washington today.
The Cowboys got to be the crappiest team in the NFL.
No, well, not by record. They're only a game out. That tie helps them. They're only a game out of the lead in the NFC East at the moment. Okay, but again,
give me that paper again. I want to look at this.
What's the upcoming teams?
Yeah, I want to look at the upcoming games.
So we're not. Again, the Bears are 4-2. Okay, they were 4-2 last year, and when I went,
Baltimore, Cincinnati.
And you know what? When I went to my place of employment way back when. And I put, on a bulletin board, I said 7 wins. The peanut gallery laughed at me, and then they didn't even get 7 wins. Okay, currently they're not even where they were last year.
Well,
they only won 5 games last year. Now you look at that thing, they'll win 5 games. There's like 2 more locks.
Yeah, they will win 5 games, but I don't know what they will be.
Okay. And the Ravens had to bye this week, and the great Lamar Jackson, and we can fight that forever and ever. He has won nothing and has won MVPs, and they haven't won nothing. But you know what? They play Baltimore next week, and for as bad as things are, Baltimore's only like 2 games out of the lead because Pittsburgh crapped the bed the other day against Cincinnati. They're only 2 games out of the lead at the division.
Well, because the AFC Central has no competition.
Correct.
And it never has. So for those of you who are Steelers fans and Ravens fans and say, "Oh, the AFC North was the toughest division for all that time." What were you smoking? The Steelers, all you got to worry about is a Cincinnati Bengals team that went 30 years not winning a playoff game. Had to worry about a brand new Cleveland Browns team that sucks. You had to worry about what? A Baltimore Ravens team with inconsistent quarterback play?
But the thing is,
and every iteration of their franchise history.
But even if it's as bad as that division is, somebody has to win.
True.
So the Ravens.
True, but
the Ravens got their sights set on the Chicago Bears next week.
But the reality of it is, the AFC has no competition.
No, and if they're gonna let King Henry run the ball against this. Now the Bears look good today, but the Bears look good today against.
Bears have the worst run defense in the league.
You know, and they stymied Alvin Kamara today, who's older than dirt. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and
When he's not getting in, all-out brawls at strip clubs.
okay. All right. Well.
Well, I mean, he did.
All right.
He did.
Okay.
I mean, it's
All right,
it's a factual thing that he did. I
Okay.
mean, it was all over ESPN.
That's great, but that,
it was a true factual thing.
all right. So moving on. But sticking with what's going to happen with the success of the Chicago Bears after next week. You would think. With that, I don't see 10 wins. That means they got to win 6 out of how many games left? 11.
Let's see. Well, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you write this all in the exact order of the games?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
They got 11.
12.
They got. They're 3-3. Oh, I must have.
Because they play 17 games now, so they already had their bye.
So they're 4-2. That's 6.
Yeah.
6 and 12 is 18. I don't know how I got an extra game in there.
Because I think there's technically week 18, because one of them is a bye week.
Week 18. That's what it was.
Week 18, because one of them is technically a bye
Okay.
week.
So.
There's 17 games, but there's
17 games.
officially
So-
18 weeks in the
Okay.
regular season.
So. In order to get to 10, they got to win 6 of those. To get 11, they got to win 7 of those.
I see them beating the Giants. Okay, in order to get 6 wins.
You got the 2 that are already circled. Those are the locks.
Okay, and then let's see. So that would be 5, 6, and then they need 3 more to get to the 10. Wait, no. I'm sorry. They would need 4 more to get.
And if they beat the Raiders by 11,
They could beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia's not looking all that great.
if they would have beat Oakland by 11, and who's the other team they only won by 1?
Oh, Washington Commanders.
If you won those games, then you could be sitting there going, those were wins, but you sit there going, yeah, they really dominated. They won 2 games by 2 points.
Yeah, other than the Detroit
Yeah.
blowout victory that they beat them in.
And I know you don't want to play this what-if game, but you viewers can play the what-if game. What if the Bears would have lost those 2 games?
We'd be having a different
And they're
conversation.
sitting at 2-4.
We'd be having a different conversation right now.
But the Bears are 4-2. Okay? So, and again, the format of today's show was, it's not a criticism of the current quarterback. It's why do you think you got to run out and get a quarterback when the quarterback that you had 5 years ago is the same kid that you got now after 23 games?
He's virtually the same human being.
Yes, he is. Yeah, and people will say, "Oh no, he's far and away, head and shoulders ahead of Mitch."
In what way? In the NFL? In the NFL, in what way?
Okay. And even when he throws those, even when he was throwing those interceptions, because he's got more interceptions than the current quarterback, he's got. His win-loss record is greater. And again, do I have to give you the list of wide receivers? Deion Sims? Adam Shaheen?
Oh my Lord, Adam Shaheen.
Do I have to give you those names again?
What? Who is this? Wheaton?
Yeah, is it Marcus Wheaton?
Wheaton, McBride,
That Trey McBride, not the Trey McBride playing now.
Burlow, Allen. Oh, that's Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Your handwriting is atrocious.
Yeah. Kevin White never played. This is the list.
Javon Wims. Later on, Javon Wims.
Mitch wasn't throwing to Jerry Rice,
No.
John Stallworth, Lynn Swan.
Steve Larchin.
He's throwing to these knuckleheads.
Throw into Trey. When they traded for Trey Burton, I'm not even kidding. Because, Trey Burton, he played tight end, right?
Was he involved in the Philly special?
He was. He was on that Super Bowl team. He was.
Yes.
And anyway, so for those of you who do not know, once upon a time, the Chicago Bears once had Greg Olsen, who I bring up quite often, because they gave him away for nothing.
And Greg Olsen, if you look at his comps, should and probably will get into the Hall of Fame as a
And
tight
they
end.
threw him away for nothing.
To Carolina.
They threw him away for nothing. Good job, Mike Martz. Good job there. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, it's not like he led that team at the time in touchdown catches. Oh, but you know what? Let's throw him away. Oh, yeah, he's not any good. It's not like he leads your team in touchdown catches. Okay, yeah, sure. Throw him away. What can possibly go wrong? And then it became a revolving door, the tight end position. Wasn't, they had another tight end that was abysmal. It was...
Well, that one year they had 7 tight ends.
Yeah, they did.
We'll look that one up for you people, and you're going to sit there and go, no. And that's only been a few years ago.
I think it was one of those guys. It had to be one of them.
They had 7 tight ends on their roster.
What's worse, having 7 different tight ends in the same year, or 11 different first basemen? The Cubs went the entire 2022 season, I think it was. With 11.
Okay, but get back to your tight end point.
No, but anyway, it was a revolving door. I mean, it's like, okay, because the quarterback only accumulates yards and numbers and statistics when his team is good around him, when his team is competent around him. And when you have all this turnover, see, the Patriots
And Tariq Cohen was on this team for 1 year.
You forgot.
But he was considered a running back. That's why I didn't put him on here.
You forgot to put Tyreek Cohen there.
I think he was in the second year. But go ahead.
No, but anyway, and people thought Cohen was the next.
Oh, and they drafted him early.
Oh, he was Walter Payton Jr. in the eyes of so many people.
Oh.
Come on. No, but anyway, when you're a team with so much turnover, in ways that the Bears are like that. The Dallas Cowboys don't have much turnover. 49ers don't have much turnover. The Patriots, for all that time, did not have any turnover. The Ravens don't have much turnover. Steelers don't have much turnover rate of people. When you're the Chicago Bears and you have so many people coming in and out, and then you go and you look at somebody that you had and they're playing for 10 years, 10, 12, 13 years somewhere else, that's insulting. Come on. That's insulting to my own intelligence here. And it was just a revolving door. You had Zach Miller, who they almost had to amputate his leg.
It's like Albert Pujols going away from the Cardinals and playing 10 more years.
Yeah.
And all his big days were outside St. Louis, but that's for another time.
Dude, and it's mind-numbing because what, other than Olin Kreutz, who was like the last legitimately good offensive lineman the Chicago Bears had? Was it Orlando Pace for one season?
Oh, well, that '86 team had.
I'm not. No. I'm not going. I'm not even
after
going,
Olin Kreutz.
Yes, I'm not even going in the 80s. I'm not even going in the 2000s. I'm going about after that.
Well,
in like the last, 15 years?
Well, obviously you don't have to look very far because last year, Baltimore, who was a playoff contending team, had 2 cast-offs from the Bears. So they had to be pretty. They had Mustafa, and they had, I think Charles Speedbump Leno was still playing somewhere.
Affetti was in Baltimore. I think Affetti played in Baltimore, guarding for the 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson.
So there were no way, shape, or form are those guys in the same breath of Olin Kreutz. Olin Kreutz should be the next guy to have his number retired, and Olin Kreutz should very well be in the Hall of Fame.
But that won't happen because George McCaskey is a word I'm not going to say.
So, but again, the Bears are 4-2. We're still banging that drum, okay? And if you get to the south side, Aurelio's Pizza. And then we got another hangar back there. That Chicago Bear Miller Lite thing. We had that mounted as well. But
it's just Jesus.
They're 4-2. But you know what? I think still at 4-2, they still very well could be dead last in their division.
Yeah. And the argument's going to be,
Yeah, their division was tough.
The division was tough. What are you talking? But
you know what?
The division was tough.
But you know what? You got to beat good teams in order to get there.
And you know what? That's what the McCaskey family are consistent of. They don't want to be good. They don't want to be great.
Because right now,
They want to be stagnant.
right now they're 0-2 in their conference, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're
Okay.
0-2 in their division, yes.
So if they lose one more, the best they can be in their division is 3-3.
Yep.
And if you finish 3-3 in your division,
You're probably not making
you're
the
probably
playoffs.
not making the playoffs, regardless of how many sad ass teams you're playing.
But do you know who did win games and win games against divisional opponents? And you fired him for nothing?
Lovey Smith.
Good job. Good job there.
So, you know,
I thank you for the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
you know. So, you know, everybody's going to go, well, you know, Detroit's good, and Minnesota's good, and Green Bay's good. You know, but, and here's the other thing. Nobody, and Minnesota's winning with, right now, an injured J.J. McCarthy and, who's the, it ain't Nick Foles. It's the other Philadelphia guy. Carson Wentz.
Oh, I forgot.
Minnesota's
forgot about
winning
Carson Wentz.
with Carson Wentz,
I forgot about Carson Wentz.
and and that's a perfect example because everybody, you think, well, you got to have the great quarterback. You know what? They got Jefferson. Addison is out. Okay. I think Aaron Jones is out. Okay. And they're winning games with an injured
I know.
J.J. McCarthy, who's played less games than any starter because he's hurt again.
He's been hurt twice.
Yes. He's only played three full games in the NFL.
Been hurt twice.
And they had to get Carson Wentz off of the rocking chair, and they're winning that division. So to tell me it's all about the quarterback, I'm telling you people out there, you're full of shit.
I know he's no longer in Minnesota, but Sam Darnold can be added to that list as well. They won with Sam Darnold. They won with Kirk Cousins. They franchise tagged Kirk Cousins like what, 4 times, 5 times? How many times? Kirk Cousins at one point in time, if you added up all the money, he was making more millions and millions of dollars than anyone in the entire NFL.
They franchise tag him, and he just said, okay, that's fine. I'll make $37 million for 1 year.
People get offended at being franchise tagged. What are you talking about? They want to keep you around. You're the only guy that they can franchise tag. What are you talking about?
They're keeping you, and they're giving you the max money.
And you are the only one that they're giving it to. Why were you offended by it?
I think up until this wacky quarterback stuff.
Yeah.
I think Kirk Cousins.
Because they all overjump one another.
I think Kirk Cousins in a 3-year period of time made more money at that particular time than any other NFL player has ever made in a 3-year period of time in the history of the NFL. And he's just going, you know what? That's 17 weeks. 17 weeks. I can do this math in my head. 3 hours a day.
That's a lot of money.
Times 17. That's 51 hours.
I think
that's 10 hours more than an average work week.
I think that's the most money a Michigan State alumni has ever made.
Okay. And he never went to a Super Bowl.
No. He won playoff games.
And Kirk Cousins is going to be head and shoulders above the current quarterback that they got now. But all the Bears needed was a quarterback. See, if you break it down, okay, and if you sit there and you're in your little man cave basement, wherever the hell you're at, and you start processing this information that we're giving you, okay,
And it doesn't register.
it should register, and if it don't, then you're just a fool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you could love the current quarterback all you want.
But
That's fine.
you got to be real. I mean, how many games are you going to have to see where it's the same routine pass ball at the line of scrimmage that gets deflected more than 2 times, more than 3 times? If it happened 1 time, okay, fine, whatever. If you got sacked 9 times in a game, 1 time, okay, fine, whatever. But if you're Justin Fields, for example, and you get sacked 9 times more than once on many different NFL organizations, that's probably on you.
Yes.
In retrospect.
And don't compare compare, and I don't want this. Well, Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy are on the same level. No, J.J. McCarthy was injured. He's played 3 games.
There is no different.
The current quarterback in the Chicago Bears has now completed 23 games.
And he should be head and shoulders above almost everybody, and he just clearly...
He isn't.
No. Not in the way that people think.
He isn't. And as I've said before, they're going to start blaming, now is he being not coached correctly? You know what? After a while, if you're in a relationship, okay, and whether you're married or not married, but people start dumping you, okay, it isn't the relationship. The common denominator is...
Probably you.
You. Okay? Probably you. And if you're not winning and you're going through all of these coaches over and over and over again...
Again, turnover rate.
Yeah.
Turnover. Because, again, you're not a healthy organization. And how many games can you go of where here's the thing. Look, I understand. You're not going to win... Okay, the Chicago Bears in 1940 won the 1940 NFL title game 73-0. They scored at least 11 touchdowns in that game. Look this up. This is real. This happened. They beat the Washington Redskins out east, and it was a huge, biggest margin victory of all time. And still to this day, 73 points has never been scored since then. The Dolphins got close a few years back. They didn't score 73, though. But anyway... I understand. You're not going to win like that every week, every game. But it's just when it's the same boneheaded errors week in, week out, year in, year out. 11 penalties in a game on a team that's been criticized heavily for having lack of discipline, lack of leadership. Well, last year, to mask all this, they had, 9 captains? And they still lost? They were 4-2 around the same time. And then the Hail Mary happened, and then everything fell apart.
The Bears have got all these weapons. We're hearing, you know what? They haven't kicked anybody's ass.
Other than Dallas. And it looks like that victory wasn't even that great.
And Dallas was minus CeeDee Lamb and a couple other guys. The Bears have not kicked anybody's ass. And next week, or this upcoming week, the vaunted Ravens defense, we're going to see. Okay? We're going to see what happens and how this all irons out.
Other than Roquan Smith, name them. I mean, everyone's so high on this Baltimore team. I mean, didn't you make the comment that Hoosier, he only throws to the tight ends? Lamar Jackson only throws to the tight ends.
But
and the running back.
But we're going to see what happens. But again, if the Bears win and go to 5-2, then I'm the biggest jughead there is. Because you know what? Then yell at me. But
I want them to be 5-2. I want to be wrong. I want to be. Okay. But I'm cautiously optimistic.
But if they go 4-3. It's easy to go 4-4,
and then 4-5,
and then you look at the back end of this schedule, going backwards.
It's uglier.
It's Detroit, San Francisco, Green Bay, Cleveland, Green Bay, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh, and Minnesota.
No, the real killer here is
going from back to front.
No, the real killer here is Pittsburgh, Philly, Green Bay, Cleveland, because Cleveland's got a good.
That's what I just did. I went from back to front.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Hardy hard. Yeah. No, but really, in my opinion, everything up until before Pittsburgh is...
That's 3 more games. You got 3 more kind of comfortable games where you shouldn't get the shit kicked out of you. Then you might lose 7 in a row.
Well, Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, they got to beat him.
You might lose 7 in a row. And you know what? That's Eberflus action. And they ran his ass out of town.
Don't stop. Why do you defend Matt Eberflus?
Okay, so
why do you defend Matt Eberflus in a way? If you're the first and only NFL head coach in Bears history to get fired in the middle of a year,
I didn't say Matt Eberflus was good. I said that was a Matt Eberflus era. So if this era can go the same and you whack Matt Eberflus and Matt Eberflus is beginning to be the shitty coach that everybody is, then Mr. Sizzle, if he loses 7 in a row, has to be in the same goddamn position that Eberflus was. And people got to be rethinking maybe his ass ought to be on the hot seat. That's what I'm saying.
And you think he will be on the hot seat sooner than later? You think that, right?
I want him to be, but no.
What?
They're giving him, no, they're right. They gave him $17 million for 5 years. Because he's the guy that's going to fix the generational quarterback.
Well,
but after you know what? And he better. There better be Super Bowl. They better be within an eyelash of the Super Bowl within 3 years.
they haven't won a playoff game in 15 years. And that's a joke. That's a joke in itself. It's the 40th anniversary of the Super Bowl team. 10 years from now, it's going to be the 50th.
Yes.
How long is this going to be?
Yes. And just because I say Eberflus, I'm not defending him.
Well,
I'm saying the point that I'm trying to make is, yeah, Eberflus lost 8, 9, 10 in a row. This guy can lose 7 in a row. He's in that. He's right there in the same area code, the same neighborhood as Eberflus. But they're gonna let this. They're gonna let the son of a bitch go 5 years and make his money because he's going to be the guy that's going to fix the quarterback situation. And you know what? He better. And I'm going to leave it at that because we're way over time today. But the Bears are 4-2.
They're 4-2 and hope they'll be 5-2.
Be 5-2.
I hope they'll be 5-2.
Okay. So watch tonight's game. We will do a show towards the end of the week. A preview show on the Bears. We'll probably mention what's going on with the World Series by then. And
what do you think? What do you think this guy thinks?
he hasn't said anything all day. Okay, if he's a polar bear, then maybe he's saying that Pete Alonso should be a Cub next year. All right. So with that being said, we'll see you later. This is Hey Sports Chicago. See you later.